Hi there YouTube, welcome to my second video on organising my craft room. In this video I'm going to share a couple of hacks or ideas that relate to storing cardstock scraps and also my rolls of vinyl and vinyl scraps for my Cricut. The first of these that I want to show you is storing them flat in an A3 binder, which then goes into the long Ikea Alex drawers. So for this one, what I've done is I've set up a folder. I'm just bringing into screen. In the folder, I've organised all of my colours of vinyl. This one's the HTV organising file. So I've organised them into colours. I've got a few extra sleeves here because I've got a few to put in here today. And what I've done so the glitter motor sizer white is next to the plain sizer easy weed white, and then it happens the same with the black, the red, and so on and so on. What I have found doing it this way is that I'm able to store my scraps of my vinyl in the same sleeve as the new sheets, and then when I go to cut something out, I check to make sure I've got a scrap of that size rather than going straight to a new sheet all the time. I know that some Cricut users out there store their scraps in a different place to their full sheets, and this does then make it more difficult to remember to use those scraps. Quite often I've heard a lot of people go straight to their new stuff and cut into that before they remember to check their scraps. So in this binder, what I do when I buy a new colour is I bring in my trimmer and I trim it into about 15 to 16 inches in length, and it stores by the width that I already buy it. My supplier uses these stickers which they stick on the vinyls that they're selling, which helps hugely in making sure that I remember what colour's what. Quite often I won't label the new pouches until I have a decent amount, which becomes tricky when you need to remember what's what. That's the only sort of habit I've got where I need to get better at being more organised. So what I do is bring it to the 14-inch mark, and then I'll cut it with my trimmer, and then I can get another length that's the same length, that's 14 inches. And then my last length that's left on the roll will be around 12 inches. And I put that in a sleeve. So this one is 11.5 inches, and then the width of the roll is 11 3/4. So it organises pretty well. So like a metre length gets me 2 14-inch lengths, and then a spare shorter piece which I'll usually use first. Storing them this way, I've found I haven't had an issue with having the vinyl cut too small for what I'm trying to store. Most orders or projects that I do use the vinyl at no less than 12 inches, but I add the extra 2 inches just to be sure. And what I'll do is put this aqua green tag at the bottom, so I know that that's the colour for my vinyl on the top. I was talking to a lady at the shop yesterday, and she stores all of her vinyl in a plastic tub. I was doing this at the first, but I found that the more vinyls I got, the more I was trying to cram into the box, and then I was causing damage to the rolls with denting and things like that to my vinyl, which would then make it hard when I'm trying to use it. So what I've done, I've got a folder that's set up for my HTV, and I've also got another folder that's set up for my adhesive vinyl. The folders in Australia I got from Officeworks. I'm sure in other places in the world you'd find the A3 folder from like your local office supplier. And the purchase of the folder and the sleeves to go in it came to around $50, and I know some of you might say that's too expensive for organisation, but for me, I thought it was an expensive hack, but at the same time it's worked really well for me, so I've stuck with it. And you know, I've still only got 2 folders for all the colours that I use. If you've got any questions or things like that, please feel free to comment and I can give you more information on that idea. Another idea I've been working on recently is organising my leftover cardstock from either scrapbooking or card making. In my first video, you would have seen a giant box with sleeves in it with my scrap cardstock in, and I found this was working for me at first, but the more cardstock that I was getting left over, I was forgetting to use it and it wasn't working. So what I did was I went on a trip to Ikea. We all love Ikea. And they have these plastic tubs called Kugis, or Kuggis. They've got them in different depths. So I bought this shallow one. It fits really well into my Alex drawers in the 5 single slim units that I use as the desk supports to my desk. They these containers fit in the bottom 3 drawers but not in the top 2. What I did is I've labelled them up with my Cricut. So I've got one for 4x4 pre-cut cardstock. There's not a lot in here, but obviously it's somewhere to start. I also did one that's got 2x4 and 2x5.5 inch pre-cut. So this one's fuller. It's got all the leftover pieces from what I'm going to show you next. So what I did was I cut them down into sizes that I would use most with my card making. So starting out with a 5.5 by 4.25, and then working down to smaller until I had no more scraps. I also did one with 3x4 inch cardstock. This one obviously has a lot more. I find this size really useful when cutting die cuts out or things on my Cricut that are really small, or for layering on my cards. And the other positive thing about these containers is, as you can see, I've stacked them all on top of each other and they sit quite narrowly on the back of my desk right in front of where I work. I've got a larger Kuggis container from Ikea as well. The first ones I showed you, they're about $6 each, and they come with a lid included in that cost. And then I got this one, which is slightly deeper. And what I did with this is all the odd sizes that were left over from my cardstock, I cut them down, organised them into colours, and I'll use these first when I'm using either little punches for my cards or stamping sentiments or layering a sentiment piece. I found it easier to organise them into cellophane bags of each colour, just so you don't have to dig through and make a mess with so many when you're looking for a particular colour or particular size. All of them are in the correct bag for the correct colour, and that one sits off next to the other ones on my desk. When I've got my craft room a little bit more sorted, I will show you a tour of my craft room, but for now I'm just going to show you a few of the ideas. These ideas have been the reason why I haven't been on YouTube quite a lot lately, because my cardstock project of organising took me about 3 weeks to trim all the different colours and the amounts down that I had, but I made it in the end. The last idea I'm going to show you, these are those French fuel containers that over here in Australia we can get at Spotlight or Craft Online. In America, I've seen that people get them from Michael's, I think Joann's, and also scrapbook.com. What I did is I cut my scrap cardstocks into 5.5 by 4.25, and each piece that's coordinated to that colour is in the box associated with the colour. And when I'm designing card fronts, they are like my go-to. So at the moment I'm in the process of making some cards for planning a video, and I've used those offcuts to make the coloured cardstock pieces for these cards. I'm still to do sentiments and blinging them up, but I'm halfway there. I think that's it in terms of showing you some hacks. A little bit about the channel from here on in. I'm going to be trying to post 2 videos a week. One either on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and another one either on a Saturday or a Sunday. Ideally, I'd like to get 2 out a week as a goal. So if there's any crafts that you want to see me have a go at, or have any ideas or things you've seen of mine going here on in that you want to see more detail on, just comment below and I will aim to work on things like that, or research into how to do them and things like that. The other thing I wanted to mention was, if you like my channel or would like to subscribe, it'll really help me in building my online presence and getting my channel out there. And obviously like and subscribe. That's all I've got for today. So thank you for your time, and tune in for the next video. Thank you. Bye.